Hey guys, so the video that is connected with the lesson for today, the YouTube video, it shows a lot of examples of how to simplify fractions using the greatest common factor, okay, which is great, okay, but it also shows a little bit of a shortcut, which I kind of want to talk about a little bit. So, I'm going to go ahead and go to some of the boom cards so that you guys can see. So let's hang on for just a second so that I can show you my screen. Okay, so you should see the screen in just a second. Okay, so looking at the first boom card, it says 15 over 30. Now, in the other video that I put in the Nearpod, it has you start out the same way that we would start out. So the first step is to list the factors of 15 and 30. So that's what we're going to do. So for 15 and 30, all right, so we always start with 1. So 1 and 15. Then for for 2, is it even? So is the number even? Is 15 even? No, it is not. So 2 doesn't work. What about 3? Does the 3's trick work? So the 3's trick. Does the 3's trick work? Okay. So we add 1 plus 5, which is 6. Is 6 a multiple of 3? Yes, it is. So that means 15 is a multiple of 3. So 3 times 5 equals 15. So those are the two factors. Okay, well, let's try 4. Is it a multiple of 4? Think about it. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Okay, 15 was not a part of those numbers, so it is not a multiple of 4. Okay, does it end in a 5 or a 0? So does the 15 end in a 5 or 0? Yes, it does. So 5 is a factor. However, if you notice, it is already in the table. So that means that we are done with all the factor pairs. Those are all the factor pairs for 15. Now let's go ahead and go to 30. So 30, we always start with 1. So if you said that, good job. 1 and 30. And we're trying to find the numbers. When you multiply them together, they equal the top number. That's what we're trying to do. So 1 times 30 equals 30. 2 times something equals 30 because it's even. So if you think about it, and if you don't know the answer right away, you can always divide it out. 30 divided by 2, we're trying to find that mystery number. 2 can go into 3 one time, subtract, bring down. 2 can go into 10 5 times, subtract, you have 15. So 2 times 15, let me write that over. 2 times 15 equals 30. Okay, well, what about 3? Well, we know our math facts, and we know that 3 times 10 equals 30. Okay, well, what about 4? Is it a multiple of 4? So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. So it is not a multiple of 30. Well, what about 5? Does it end in a 5 or a 0? 5 times what number equals 30? 5 times 6 equals 30. Now, we're going on to the next number, which is a 6. Well, 6 is already there, which means that we are done writing out those factors. So, I'm going to go ahead and erase this. So remember, we always ask ourselves those questions. Well, first we always start with 1. Go on to 2, is it even? Go on to 3, does the 3's trick work, or is it a multiple of 3? Go on to 4, is it a multiple of 4? Go on to 5, does it end in a 5 or a 0? Go on to 6, Is there a 3 and a 2? Or is it a multiple of 6? 7, all the rest of the numbers don't really have tricks to them. You just have to know, okay, is it a multiple of 7? Is it a multiple of 8? Is it a multiple of 9? So on and so forth. Okay, now let's go ahead and finish off the problem. So now we find all the common factors. So in the next video, you will see that he does not circle all of the common factors, which you don't have to, but I find it easy to be able to see all the common factors. So we see that 1 is in common, 3 is in common, 5 is in common. And we also see that 15 is in common. So now we need to find the greatest common factor, the biggest number. And we see that the biggest number that we circled was 15. Okay. The next thing that he did was he created the simplest fraction by using the pairs. So 15, so if you look for 15 on both of those T-charts, we see that 15 is here and it's connected to 1. 15 is here and it's connected to 2. Because those are the pairs. They go together. Okay? So if we have 15 over 30, what we normally do is divide by the greatest common factor. So we divide by 15. So 15 divided by 15 is 1. And we see that here. 30 divided by 15 is 2. And we see that here. That's how he got those numbers. He divided in his head because they are pairs with each other. So what he did, he just pulled those numbers from the T-chart and he didn't divide. However, that is a shortcut to finding the simplest form. So, I highly suggest, if you haven't watched the video, to make sure that you watch that video. I just wanted to show you at least one example of the way that we had been practicing it, but I think that video is a great video for you to watch, so please make sure that you watch it if you haven't. If you have any other questions, please let me know. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.